Gentlemen, welcome in, guys, to another stream. There's not much really going on tonight. I don't think. It's just trying to watch the NFL. You think people have given up on MAGA? That's the issue when you get into power. People want you to do things, you don't do them. The allegiance is gonna go. Yeah, I saw that. That's unfortunate for Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is out now with a ACL. I don't know how that's gonna affect next year for him, but they've had a tough year, the Chiefs. No, this is just a regular stream. This is just I mainly just do regular streams, honestly, man. Bro, I gotta change that to add the delay. It's what happens when you're an Israel cook. I just think it's a common thing we see with politicians in general. People, they support the person, and they get into office, they don't do everything they want. Then I mean, a lot of this is online support that has eroded for Trump. Online and real life are two different things. Did Ben Shapiro allow Matt Walsh to watch Piers Fuentes' interview? I don't know, man. You went to Andrew Jackson's mansion outside of Nashville. He had an ugly wife. Yeah, a lot of them had ugly wives. It's like a different standard back in the day. It's interesting to see the 1900s, some of the women that the prominent men dated. Thank you for the $2 donation. Israel is exhausting. The US government is dead. Well, it's hard to really know what's happening with the US government. I don't think any of us truly have any idea. You know, you're from Finland and you fully understand Trump's point of view on Europe. Well, I mean, Europe obviously is a lot more liberal than we are, and it's becoming a bit of a problem. Europe's a lot more like Canada in terms of politics. So the allegiance to Europe with NATO is it's wearing thin. I thought it was a good thing that they upped their military budget, but I don't know. You're not MAGA anymore because it's turned into a cult. I mean, that's what they say about like a lot of political movements. It's not a cult. I don't know. Like, I mean, I criticize Trump all the time. I don't know. Like, people just are completely hysterical with that type of stuff. Yeah, I don't know about Candace Owens, man. I'm tired of hearing about her. Really, I am. She contributes really nothing to the conversation. It's just like, what are we even talking about? I really don't even care like about an investigation into an assassination that's like clear cut. It's like I don't know. Do you think Mahomes can still beat out Brady? No, I don't. I don't think Mahomes can beat out Brady. Mahomes has had 3 straight years of subpar play. If you're talking about being the GOAT, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can't have 3 straight years in your prime of subpar play, like relative to the standard. Oh my god, dude. Can we not like okay, you solved it with Israel. Dude, I mean, I know Israel controls everything, man. Good talk. Do you 100% trust the FBI investigation into 9/11? Well, no, they're investigating themselves. Why would you can't really trust that. No, it was the 9/11 investigation was done half-assed on purpose. Candace says it was a conspiracy, but won't come out and say Robinson is innocent. Well, no, what she says now, she says she thinks he got help. So she's admitted that now that Robinson is involved, but she says he got help from someone. So it gives her the ability to kind of get out of. You're right. The question of, well, is he innocent? I mean, there's gonna be a there's a court case, there's a trial. How did you feel about Brown University incident? Yeah, that's really bad. I saw that. I saw it looks like two people were killed. It says right there. So not really strange how they don't have any videos, or I guess they have one video of the guy running away, but they barely have any footage of the suspect. They're running out of ideas. The internet's really fucked up. Manipulation tactics. Well, it's obviously a grift to try and prolong a situation that's been getting her many views, and so she's going to continue to do it. And it's just never ending. You know, I saw she's meeting with Erica Kirk now in a private conversation. But like, dude, the thing is with Erica Kirk, can somebody just tell that woman maybe go away for a few weeks? I really don't think she's helping herself. Like, why does Erica Kirk need to do an interview every day? It feels like you're probably not helping yourself. Is there any advisement from any of these? It just, I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. Thoughts on the attack in Australia? Yeah, that was insane. It looks like 12 people died. I saw that was a terrible thing. I saw some type of Muslim attack on Jews, but people say it's Mossad. They say it's Mossad every single time. They're going to blame Mossad for Muslims killing people. I mean, we'll see what comes out in terms of the evidence and things like that. People are already saying what happened in Sydney was a false flag. When did it get this bad that every single event is a false flag? Well, I think that's because it was against Jews, and then they say they're going to use that, to push anti-Semitism laws and things like that. So, well, you're right. They do call everything a false flag, and that's just par for the course with the internet. But obviously they're gonna say it's Mossad, like it's this crazy. Oh my goodness, you're blaming Mossad. You're such a badass. Like, all right, man. Do we even have any of the information? Yeah, Australia has extremely strict gun laws, and but they'll just say, well, that's a single incident. On average, the gun violence is obviously extremely low, but it's very sad. Guns can still get into the wrong hands, even in extremely. I mean, there's a lot of heavily some type of gun restriction in the United States outside of improving background checks. I don't think is really possible. There's too many guns in circulation. Even in the stricter zones where they don't allow guns, there's a lot of shootings that happen. So I think that you'd have to do stricter background checks in the US to try and eliminate some of this stuff, but I don't even know if that would work. What is a false flag attack? An attack that was planned on purpose for political leverage in most cases. There's a reaction, obviously, if this thing in Australia is true, that's going to cause some type of political reaction as people will say Jews are being targeted, so we have to make some type of law or some type of proclamation that they need to be protected. That's but I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that's what they'll say. Life is too real for sports ball. Dude, a lot of this like shit is crap. Like a lot of this political shit is crap too. People always make fun of like people that watch sports. I've been following politics for a while. A lot of this is just like what are you gonna do? You're gonna fucking look up the governor's race in 2026? Like this is I mean, come on. Are we gonna look up another conspiracy? Tyler Robinson conspiracy. Did you see Candace Owens predict this? She didn't predict anything. What did she say? An attack was gonna happen, and then it happened. Bro, I can't do this anymore. Like, it's your birthday. I don't think it is. I think you're just saying that. Football and beer, stay dumb and distracted. Oh my god, bro, we got to go look up the 9,000th conspiracy. It's so important. I mean, the thing is that I see both sides of it. It's just like a lot of that is bullshit, honestly, when they say they're just doing it to distract. I mean, some people you don't want in politics, let's be honest. What events do you believe were false flags? Well, Northwoods was confirmed a false flag. I mean, probably smaller, more localized events more likely to be false flags. Just got back from eating out. Well, happy birthday if it is your birthday. Was the shooter a Muslim? I believe he was a Muslim, yes. The shooter in Australia. Bro, I just can't do it anymore, man. I'm sorry. Like, knows most about 9/11, still believes the official story. You know what? It's very funny. If you look at Tucker Carlson, I believe what I was told is he pretty much believes the story as well. If you actually investigate 9/11, it's very hard to prove, link the Bush administration to knowing about the attacks. It's actually impossible to. If you actually research it. I mean, you can vaguely say, but go actually research it and then link it. You're not going to be able to do it. Have you seen the video of the guy disarming the Australian shooter? Yeah, and then he didn't shoot him. I saw. It's a tough position to be in. I mean, with Australia, you don't know those laws. Imagine he shot him and killed him. I don't think he'd get charged with anything, but who knows? The courts are weird with self defense. I think self defense is pretty cut and dry, but you see it. You see it. People argue it all the time. There's like a vagueness to certain situations, and people can see it from different perspectives. But yeah, I don't know why they still do that stuff in the NFL. You'd think they would leave that in 2020. They still have a lot of that shit. Well, they have some of it like behind the end zones, the quality stuff. That's really bad. You've seen some engineers' video on Tower 7 and how it was built and why it collapsed. Very interesting. The guy said it wasn't bombed and that the fires actually collapsed it. The guy clearly works for the government. Like, that guy clearly works for Mossad, dude. Are you kidding? Ian Carroll told you that Building 7 was indestructible. It's a good source. Two planes hit, yet three towers collapsed. But one of the towers is a lot smaller than the other two towers. I don't think that's really the premise of that doesn't even make sense. You're comparing a tower. Building 7 is like a third of the size of, or half the size, whatever, of the Twin Towers. But also the Building 7 thing. This is the issue with Building 7. It doesn't make any sense to collapse it. The collateral is so much worse. Why would you collapse the building at 5 o'clock in the afternoon? It would just make it more suspicious. If they actually wanted to collapse the building, why wouldn't they just collapse it right when the Twin Towers collapsed? You'd have more damage. There'd be more citizens. You'd probably have more deaths. The death count would be higher. So you're gonna wait till 5 o'clock in the afternoon to randomly collapse it after everyone's already been cleared and vacated. I think either one person or nobody died. I think nobody died from the collapse of Building 7. But it's this huge conspiracy. What is the point of them collapsing Building 7? I mean, the whole idea is to give them an excuse to go to war in the Middle East. Supposedly they planned it all to be able to do that. The Building 7 is irrelevant. Normies don't even know about Building 7. It didn't Building 7 collapse. It didn't do an iota in terms of convincing U.S. citizens to go that we needed to go to war against terrorists in the Middle East. For college football, what is the point of a bye when everyone gets a bye? You don't think you'd want two byes in a row out of rhythm? There's already a bowl game on the same day as Army Navy, anyways. No, it's 100% right. 100% right. They should. I mean, college football has lost all of its momentum now. It's lost all of its momentum. They really and next year they have to change it. I mean, this is crazy. We already should have had the first week done in college football, and the calendar would be a lot better. If they did that, they would be able to move up a lot of the games and things would flow better. And so, 100%, there should not be a bye where everyone is off. The energy of college football is just lost. You need constant every single week, uninterrupted. This week off is just very bad for the sport. What's your response to people saying 9/11 passports were indestructible? Well, what I can say on that is it's very easy for paper or fragments to stay together. I mean, it's not like everything gets completely, just destroyed. There's a lot of paper from the towers, the impact zone, that were fluttering around and survived because smaller fragments do different things. I mean, but the passport is very strange. Instagram Reels or TikTok or YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts, honestly. Sometimes Instagram Reels. I don't have TikTok installed. It's kind of the same thing, though. I watch a lot of YouTube Shorts, so again, that's like the same thing as TikTok. Thoughts on NG killed in Syria being labeled FF? I don't know. I don't know about that situation, man. Otto was gay. Otto was. I don't think he was too happy. That's what gay means. It means happy during Christmas time. You got to bring it back. Gay means happy. Yeah, I mean, I saw the shooting. It's very bad. I mean, we'll see what comes out of it. People are gonna make their own assumptions, and it's just social media. The swarm comes in, and they immediately try. And it's the same thing with the Charlie Kirk shooting. They came in and said it was Israel the day after, and people said no, it wasn't, and they come out and say statements without actual verifiable proof. Trump 2028, please get accommodated with that, MAGA. Dude, Trump has been falling asleep, man. It's just, and look, Trump, he's had a nice run. It's not going to happen, man, especially with what I've seen from Trump recently. He's very old, man. The runway is just, it's gone. It's just not going to happen for Trump. Even in 20, I'm concerned maybe even about 2027 with Trump aging. I mean, I think he'll be all right, but when it goes quickly. So we'll see in terms of like cognitive and everything like that. But I mean, dude, the other thing is the country has to get younger with these leaders. I mean, we can't keep doing this 80-year-old people. I mean, I appreciate Trump for doing it and running again, but it's time for the country just in general to get younger. Looking at the National Guard shooting in Syria, definitely a false flag. All right, I'll take a look at that. That's your opinion? Trump 2028 is happening? Well, Trump is falling asleep in meetings now. And it's pretty obvious. And it's not a big deal, but it's just, it has to happen. The country's got to get younger. The country's got to get younger. We're not going to run Trump at 83 years old or whatever it is, 82. It's just, you have to move on at some point. This cord's got to be cut. And Trump's going to play out his second term, I'm sure. Hopefully he's able to keep the House. Imagine how bad politics will be if the Democrats take the House and it's just this obnoxious impeachments over and over again about stuff. And that's probably, I mean, I think Republicans can still win the House. But that's what would happen if the Democrats were able to take the House back. Do you trust JD Vance? I don't think you can trust any politician, and JD Vance is a young politician, so it's hard to trust any. That's the thing with like these people that come onto the scene randomly, like the James Fishback guy. Like, how do you trust these people? Even like Vivek, everyone's like, well, Vivek, he's supporting Trump, he's all this right wing, and then a year later, he puts out the tweet, he talks about American culture, and these people, it's just like you really don't know any of them, so you want to support them. Trump falling asleep is a Dem talking point. I mean, if you close your eyes for like 15 seconds, that's probably something you shouldn't be doing at meetings, when the camera's on you at least. Maybe in private meetings you can do it. You gotta go take a shower. Interesting information to share. You think alt season is dead? No, it's probably mid 2026 if I had to guess. I mean, we haven't even had an alt. This is the thing with crypto. It's just the dilution is insane. I don't think anyone expected this much dilution, and I do see the narrative that things like Pump Fund and Pump Swap and these platforms that make the barrier to entry basically zero, they've diluted the entire market. And nobody in 2022 or 2023, when we were planning for a bull run in 2025, nobody thought this was going to happen, where there would be thousands of coins created in a single day and put onto the market, and they've all got like market caps of 100k, 200k. The dilution in crypto has just destroyed a lot of these, even the decent utility projects that potentially could have done well. And the AI narrative has gotten completely destroyed. Trump coin killed alt season. Yeah, but I don't even know if it did, because you would think we would still be able to bounce back. And we did bounce back in the summer, but it just hasn't happened now, because it's like you figure in the summer that the momentum was amazing even after that Trump situation. And it was like, well, this makes perfect sense. It's going to be the fall. It's going to be the holidays time. So it recovered since the Trump, but then we had the crazy Bitcoin breakdown where it went back under 100k. Well, we are going to vote DJT in GOP 2028 primary. Well, I mean, that's fine. You can do that. You can do whatever you want. Retail has no money for alt season. Yeah, I mean, maybe they get the $2,000 checks. If that happens, then they have money. I mean, I don't know. The stocks are all up. But you are right. It's like spending has gone down significantly. What's your take on Shador? Shador Sanders? I don't think he's really. I mean, he does make good throws from time to time, I will say, but it's hard to really see him as a legitimate starting quarterback option. I mean, it depends what pick the Browns have. I guess there's a world where the Browns don't have like a top four pick, depending on if they win a game. But I think they're probably going to try and get Mendoza. But then that's an issue to where they probably have to move up to number one. They're going to have to trade resources to do that. So it's a bad situation either way. Hopefully they can just get the number one pick. But yeah, I don't know about Shador. Shador, it's an entire thing, and he's got all these fans, and it's just annoying to deal with, honestly. And yeah, he makes some good throws. I mean, he's got way more talent than Gabriel. It's obvious, but I don't think he's the future quarterback. Yeah, I have Erica fatigue as well. I mean, she needs to just stop talking. Just take 2 weeks or 3 weeks and just stop doing these public appearances because people just overanalyze them. They're gonna overanalyze them. They're gonna say she's a weirdo no matter what. Just stop doing them. How bad will the Michigan fallout be? I mean, that just seems like well, they're investigating. They say they're investigating their own program now because they've had all these issues. I don't think that's gonna lead to nothing if they investigate their own program. But they're struggling to hire a head coach. We'll see. Now, I think DeBoer came out with the statement that he said because Alabama has a game in like 5 days. What is he gonna say? I'm interested in the Michigan job. Like, if DeBoer loses, I think they're gonna really try and get DeBoer. If he loses to Oklahoma, I know DeBoer said he's locked in at Alabama, but again, what is he going to say? They've got a playoff game in like a week. Is marriage hopeless in 2025? I've seen a lot of horror stories with marriage and men getting screwed in terms of the 50-50 thing. The contracts are brutal. I mean, it depends your position in life with marriage. Yeah, I've seen a lot of bickering with India. I just don't understand. Like these Indians, they keep talking about like if you're it just I know it's a basic answer, but if you're so great, why are you in the country? Go back to your own country. What is the purpose? You say, oh, these Indians coming in, they're so smart. Go be smart in your own country. We don't want to deal with it. Like, is that not like an obvious answer? But you know how it is. Everyone wants to come to the United States. I was gonna put out a tweet. Maybe I'll put it out, but everyone wants to come to the United States. Everyone wants to come to Europe. They want to conquer you. India is going to conquer us. Come on. Latin America, I mean, there's a lot of Latin Americans in the United States, but all the infrastructure is still controlled by white people. Outside of the CEOs, you're right, a lot of the CEOs now are Indian. Matt Walsh's new documentary, What is a Genocide? He should do a documentary, What is an American? That's actually a documentary that's kind of needed. Nick Fuentes not as great as the Gropers. I mean, I've read some stuff about Nick Fuentes. We'll see with him. I think it's an unknown commodity with Nick Fuentes, and you see the temperament. We'll have to see. Nobody wants to Europe. Of course they do. All the Muslims want to go to Europe. Nah, I was never a fan of MW2 over Black Ops 1. I never really played MW2 personally. That documentary on America would carry some weight. I mean, that is the question, is it not? What is an American? What is the definition of an American? Did you see what Crystal Ball tweeted? Just such a just an unbelievable tweet from a liberal. I was going to do a video on that, but it's just an insane tweet. Just mind-boggling. A mind-boggling tweet about the immigration. Because the immigration is, you can't hide it anymore. They hit it and now they can't. So you see the numbers are stark. It's population replacement. They're trying to say, well, this is American. Where do I even begin? Yeah, I don't know how much I mean, it does seem like there's a ton of Indian CEOs. I've seen that in. But those CEOs, it doesn't seem like they really do anything. Like the new CEO of X, I mean, nobody even knows who this person is. They're just kind of irrelevant. I mean, I guess they controlled important decisions, but because like everyone knew Jack Dorsey, and then they put in somebody like from India that you can't pronounce their name, and it's part of their strategy. I feel like it like dilutes the blame because everyone would just blame Dorsey for everything if you think about it, and now the blame is diluted. Thoughts on Mendoza winning the Heisman? He deserved it. It was a bad year for the Heisman. It was a bad year for the Heisman, but there was no other option. No, but no, you have to give it to Mendoza in that situation. Even though his stats were not Heisman worthy, that's just the kind of the way the cookie crumbles in a year like this. When are people going to realize social media is the problem? Well, social media is just part of a technological evolution. So you have a problem with technology evolving. I mean, there could be some arguments. They need to strictly limit kids' social media usage, but once you get to be an adult, I mean, people are going to use it. It's just it's freedom. But maybe they limit it with the kids at school and stuff. I could see that. Vivek Patel, that's a winning ticket. Yeah, meatball subs are good, man. They are good. Meatball subs are I haven't had a meatball sub in like 5 years, but they're good. Sandwich, I mean, it depends what sandwich. I'm not a big just normal sandwich person, honestly. But if it's a sub sandwich, I like sub sandwiches. I mean, these are very carb heavy meals, but anything with bread is probably going to be pretty good. Like as long as the bread is good, as long as it's like white bread, it's probably going to be pretty good. Why does EU allow permanent residents? Yeah, they shouldn't allow permanent residents to any Syrian refugees. Do you enjoy grilled cheese? Yeah, grilled cheese is fine. Grilled cheese is good. Retractable roofs. You live in Dallas. Owner is dumb. What do you mean by that? Retractable roofs? You talking about the Rangers retractable roof. You're talking about the Cowboys retractable roof. You're talking about the Astros retractable roof. There's a lot of retractable roofs in Texas. But I think the retractable roofs are obsolete. They're not open enough, so they're not building them anymore. And it's unfortunate, but it's a climate. It has to be the right climate for retractable roofs to have success. Like Seattle, it's very successful in Seattle, Toronto. They tend to have their roof open a lot. Commanders Stadium. Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to build it, right? They're gonna build it at RFK, but I haven't seen any actual renderings. It's gonna be some slop, multi event translucent roof stadium. I can pretty much guarantee it. And I would really implore them to come up with a different design because all these stadiums are being built the exact same way. It's not a good look. Oh, yeah, I would not go to Thailand for that. It's like passport bros. Mariners Stadium is excellent. Seahawks Stadium is open. I'm talking about T-Mobile Park. You know, the MLB team. Yeah, their stadium is nice because it's open air. It's an umbrella. It's an umbrella stadium, is what it is. So it stays open. I will say when it's closed, it can be, and it's raining out, it can be bad. But I mean, like they don't TK advantage of the retractable. They don't think. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I think retractables in general are just they're going out of style, and they're never open. They got to stop accepting refugees. I don't understand what's the problem with. I mean, it's like it's really bad. They shouldn't accept them. You got to make 20K bi-weekly once you graduate. Well, congratulations. It's a lot of money, man. Mariners is almost always open because there's no incentive to close it because it's already open air. So the temperature it's the outdoor temperature even if it's closed. That's why. Dude, I don't. You gotta fucking. I'm sorry, man. You need to really read what you're typing. Yeah, no, I know that they're not going to open them because it's not. If the temperature is not perfect, I think some of the teams like the Cowboys, they've made it to where they're just not going to open it. The Texans have done that as well. They're some of these roofs, I don't even think they open anymore. I think if they tried opening them, it'd probably malfunction. You have to maintenance the retractable, the mechanisms that retract. It's a very expensive process. I think some of them probably don't even open. Trump 2028 will happen. I will donate to the 2028 campaign. It's a constitutional and legal. Why do libs want Trump to be a pedo so bad? You've seen AI Well, they hate Trump. I mean, so obviously they hate Trump. They're going to wish the worst. And that's the thing with Epstein, so. Northwestern's new stadium. Yeah, I think it looks fine. They had to build one. That old thing was a dump that they played at the old Orion Field. And I do think when they build new college football stadiums, it's rare, but they tend to be very generic. The stadiums, if like Baylor Stadium is very generic. It was built in like 2014. I think their stadium is pretty generic. If you look at I mean, I guess it's fine. But the Big Ten, I'm sure, likes it because their old stadium was a shithole. That was like an $800 million, thing that they built. It's for a college program. Browns stadium renderings look so good, better than the Raiders. Uh, Depends. I mean, the Browns stadium, it's different. I think the exterior could have used maybe a little bit of a different material, but I think they were limited. They were limited because of the airport in terms of like the way that it could be built. No, I don't think weed is legal. It's what is it, schedule 3, but believe it loosens some of the laws on weed. I don't know. I think it's just there's lobbying and stuff, and that's the reason he did it. It doesn't make it legal. That's a state issue with weed. But it's some states it's legalized, others it's not. But it's like if it goes to a Schedule 3, I think that loosens a lot of the laws and jurisdictions on people having weed on them and the charges, probably things like that. Do you think the Epstein stuff is why everyone is going crazy? I mean, the Epstein stuff it's been in the storylines for months now. At this point, it's run its course. If something is going to come out, it's going to come out. But I don't really see the need to continue the Epstein stuff. It's like we've kind of beaten it to death. You will never vote to legalize weed. You're Gen Z too. Yeah, I'm not a fan of illegal weed. I think weed dumbs down the population. I think it makes people not want to work. They're not productive. In some cases, there is some there's some flexibility that's needed with weed because there is some medical, the medical marijuana stuff it's exaggerated, I believe, from they originally said, well, it's this miracle drug. Now they're saying it's exaggerated. So, but Trump is probably getting lobbied and all that, and so that was something that he said he was going to do. He was going to make it easier, and but people are now coming back on gay marriage and weed, and they're saying, well, no, we don't want these things to be legal anymore. Yeah, I don't really like CBD either. I'm not a big fan of CBD. I don't know if it's just maybe I should try it again, but I'm not a big fan of CBD. Yeah, I actually had to go outside to shovel. It's like it was like -5 degrees wind chill today. It was very cold. Yeah, I don't really do any of the drugs or anything like that. CBD just gets you tired. That's what people use it for, is a sleep agent. That's what I used it for when I took CBD through a vape or whatever. And I didn't really feel it helped me much, but it's a sleep. It's for sleep. It's one of the things it does. I don't know. Maybe it's a calming agent. Maybe it's for anxiety. If I was talking to some guy, this is probably back in 2019. He was telling me about it when I bought it. I actually do have CBD, but it's like some liquid droplets. I don't want to take them. You watched the Hitler iceberg with your mom? That's a strange viewing arrangement. But yeah, we'll see if that gets in the algorithm. That's got to get in the algorithm. That's come on. Yeah, that video took a long time. YouTube, YouTube, please, just put it in the algorithm. People, there's all these other World War II videos that do very well. Just put it in the algorithm. Just let it go. It's the same thing with the 9/11 iceberg, but the 9/11 videos, I have a more loyal fan base that watches those. Piers Morgan wife updates. What, he's a cuck apparently? MTG and Candace. Yeah, I haven't heard much about MTG recently. MTG will show up somewhere on some podcast trying to talk about how she's more in the middle and she's rebirthed as a political person, and it's all the same stuff. It's all the same crap. You think World Trade's Building 7 collapsed on its own? You go back and watch like 30 minutes ago. I actually explained it. It's really nonsensical. Why don't somebody just go ahead and dispute what I was saying about that? Like the idea that, I mean, you're only opening yourself up to conspiracies if you collapse the building 5 or 6 hours after. It makes it even more suspicious. So there's no reason to do it. If you can collapse a building, you can take papers out of the basement. They're like, well, they collapsed it because there were important papers. They're important documents. If you collapse the building, you can get the papers. Come on. The touchdown win the Vikings just made. I don't, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, man. You gotta. It's just the grammar issues. Yeah, no, I know. Building 7 got damaged with fall debris. Well, that's part of the reasons why the fire started. Do you think more fraud will be exposed in 2026? You're hearing Maine has a huge Somali scandal brewing. All these immigrants are probably they're all it's all fraud. It's all fraud everywhere. These are naive white liberals just getting completely taken advantage of. Like the when I knew the Somali scandal was real when Jake Tapper was asking Ilhan Omar, like the question was like, because this is a liberal, CNN's more liberal, so Ilhan Omar goes on there, and even Jake Tapper is like, so how did all of this fraud happen, and why did this happen? Why did you guys allow this? What happened? And of course she can't answer. She says some bullshit answer. But it's just like, yeah, it's actually real. There's a fucking $1 billion in Somali fraud, frauding the taxpayers in Minnesota. That's just great. That's beautiful. Let's have more empathy to let more people in. That makes total sense. These people complain about the middle class getting charged with too many taxes, and all the taxes go to the fucking Somalis, I guess, anyways. I mean, obviously, I'm being ridiculous, but it's kind of funny to see those type of things happen because you just know. I mean, why would anyone be surprised that that type of stuff happens? She blames the government for not having safeguards. It's like blaming the people that got abused. It's a cope argument. Syrian flags in Canada. Oh boy, that's beautiful multiculturalism. Thoughts on Trump lifting ban on K trucks coming to the United States? Finally, some affordable vehicles people actually want. Hmm. I don't know about that, honestly. You hate how they don't flex these slop Sunday night games. Yeah, they're very conservative with flexing because the NFL actually doesn't flex a lot of the games because of the people have plans to go to these games. If they change the time, they get really angry. That's not the right multiculturalism. That's not what they would say multiculturalism is. There's no diversity in that hedge. But yeah, no, it is. I mean, we did have actual different ethnicities in the United States, but it was all under the same umbrella of Europe. Yeah, the ACL is bad, and that's at the end of the season. I don't know what's going to be happening for next year with Mahomes. Yeah, that might go into next year. I don't know about these ACL recoveries. Some of them seemingly happen faster than others, but isn't it like a year recovery for ACL? Or is it like 8 months or something? Or does it depend on the player? I feel like it's faster nowadays, the ACL. But maybe it's not. I don't know. You heard ICE likes to argue with white Karens because it somehow makes it look like they're doing their job by arguing with white Karens who are protesting. It's all a mess. How much tariff revenue? I don't know. It's impossible to say. They give estimates, I think, but it's if it's like 30 billion a month, I think. ACL used to be career ending. It's like Tommy John, they improve the system. It's the recovery, the repair. When will we actually make getting US debt down a priority? When we have to, when it becomes so overwhelming. Probably, I would say the 2032 election, if I had to guess. Maybe it comes up. I don't think it's going to come up a ton in 2020. I think the 2032 election is going to be about a restructuring of our economic policy and being able to try and not fall into a debt spiral if we're not already there. One of these elections is going to be huge about the debt and the future of the economy. I don't know which one. I mean, it's always about the economy, but the politicians will say a token phrase like they're going to bring the debt down. They're going to stop the spending and stuff, but it never works out like that, of course, because you do that, you risk an economy that slows. Yeah, well, I think RG3. The problem with RG3 is he was playing on like a torn AC. He came back either too early or yeah, something happened with RG3 where I think he came back and played. He was playing with like a sprained ACL ligament or something, and then he tore it. It was just really bad. Like he had permanent damage because he was playing on like a torn ACL or so, or that was a really bad. Kino. Yeah, Kino is a legendary map. Kino their own. It's a fine map. Not my favorite though. How do you think Trump will encourage Nordic immigration? He mentioned on his in his first term, but nothing was done to get it rolling. Yeah, I don't see. I mean, no, Trump did say it recently. He said he wants people from Norway and Sweden and Denmark. So Yeah, but I don't know if there'll be anything that gets put in place. Like, what's the policy? A quota system again? How's that going to get passed? I think Russell Wilson had a pretty good career. He did have a bad downfall. I don't think his wife was I don't think so. I think he really fell off. It's hard, when you're competing at that level, it's hard to stay, for a very long time. But he did fall off really bad, Russell Wilson. He fell off right when he left Seattle. Heard of the shooting? Yeah, I heard of that shooting in Providence. People overestimate what I earn. What depends what people think. I think people tend to, when I have a lot of views, I think people underestimate what I earn, and then when I don't get a lot of views, I think people overestimate. So it's dependent on that. You're never leaving Sweden for America. Yeah, nor should you. If you're born in the country, you should stay there. It's your country, 100%. But if we could get immigrants, I mean, that we would be beneficial to get immigrants from those countries. That's what Trump is saying. There was also another fatal college shooting in Kentucky less than a week. I never heard about that. Long-term goals. That's a challenging question. Are there still white people in Sweden? Well, unironically, a lot of Americans can think you have to understand their demographics are far better than ours. Far better. It's not even close. Now, sure, they are getting a lot of Muslim immigration now, but it's still not close. You need to look up on their demographics. That's a thing a lot of Americans assume, like they have like all the like their country's like 90% Muslim now. How do you see the political climate in the US the next 10 years? Well, I mean, think about trying to predict in 2015 to 2025. Yeah, it's very hard to predict. I mean, you think, well, based off of what we've seen recently with the way it yo-yos, probably Democrat in 2028, probably Newsom if I had to guess right now. I mean, I don't know if it'll yo-yo back. It depends on the incumbent situation, but I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a while in terms of, you know, I don't. You don't really know how independents are going to fall. But it's to me, it's just hard for people to vote for a Democrat after what happened under Biden, and it really strictly is about the border. It's strictly about the immigration, the rampant replacement migration that we saw under Biden. But maybe people won't prioritize that. I don't know. Yeah, right. Trump would be a non-consecutive two-term. But that's kind of how it works, though, man. It's just like the reality is crazier than fiction, but you just can't predict it. Shooter shouted in Arabic. Yeah, I heard rumors about that. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, hopefully, that I'm sure it'll look. But it is very strange that the Brown University shooting is really it's been all concealed. There's very little that's leaked out about that. They won't leak anything out. There's been rumors that the shooter said Arabic phrases before he fired, and so I mean, it would have to be investigated. We'll see. I mean, it's people if eyewitnesses say it, but eyewitnesses are not reliable. But still, we'll have to see. Yeah, no, I think that, but they'll say the trans stuff is such a small percentage, but I do think it's a societal problem. It's so destructive for children to be encouraged to do that. And it's an obligation for adults to say, no, that's not a good thing, because we've had situations, in the past, in terms of the history of the world, to where, kids grow up and they're like, girls are tomboys. It doesn't mean they're trans. Let's not give them some type of, hormones or anything. But that's, unfortunately, it happens. But I think liberals argue now, they say that's such a small percentage, it doesn't matter in terms of the trans stuff. Do you think the auto pen stuff is popular with voters, or a niche for them, or too niche for them to care? You feel like many people care despite it being crazy? Not many people care despite. Yeah, I don't think many people care, because people already assumed it was a shadow leadership situation with Biden. I mean, nobody really thought Biden was operating much, and it was just like the Democrat conglomerate, the cabal within the Democratic Party was kind of operating for Biden. There's no way. What is Biden going to say? I mean, like, you just think about just normal functions. Biden couldn't barely, he couldn't stand up, and it takes him 5 seconds to stand up. So if Biden wants to do something, like, think about where Biden even is mentally when he's the president versus where he was 30 or 40 years ago. There's no way he could have been making any decisions, and he shouldn't have been making any decisions. He was not cognitively available to be able to do it. So it was more of just this Democrat orgy situation where this is this cabal. And the auto pen, of course, the auto pen is, but you know what Biden is? He's going to say whatever they want, I sign off on. That's what it was. You think he's making any decision? But did Democrats really vote for Biden, or they vote against Trump? People just voted against Trump. And then you could even talk about the election and whether or not, the mail-in ballots and things like that. But, nobody's voting for Biden to say, well, this guy, he's going to stand up and do something. He can't even stand, at least within the span of 5 seconds. I mean, it just goes to show you the country like goes on cruise control or something. The actual president, I guess it depends who the president is, but they can have such a little impact and it'll just keep going. It would have been better if he was remembered as Obama's goofy VP. Yeah, I mean, whatever his legacy is, he gets to he's a president, so he's what, 46. He's 46, and he'll have that for his legacy. But I mean, even the people that try and praise Biden, I don't really know how you can say, well, what did Biden do? And it's just it's so hard to really, in that mental state, it's very challenging to. And then you see him in the debate. They tried to conceal him for all those months, and he would never do press conferences. And the aides were like, he goes to sleep at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's unheard of for a president. You can't be, it's like, this is not healthy. And then they gave him like a week and a half to prepare for this debate, which is insane. I mean, you're the president. You're going to take a week and a half to prepare for a debate against Trump. And I mean, the guy is just completely gone. So how long did they conceal that? I mean, and it's like people still stand for Biden. They say he's a good president. I mean, he's like on a ventilator throughout the entire presidency. I'm sorry. It's just like, personally, it's, Erica Kirk meeting with Candace. Hopefully she's suing. Hopefully the situation ends. I just don't want to see it in the news anymore. It's such a dumb thing. Gen Z gender split, females leaning left, males leaning right. Will it cause continued strain in the future political matters? Well, I think it's normal. If men are going to be more attracted to the right wing, women are going to be more attracted to me. I just think it's normal, but maybe it will cause even more of a strain. There's a lot of toxicity between men and women online. It's kind of just a function of social media, growing up online, but we'll see. I mean, there's some big problems in dating in terms of online market and White women are very left. They're actually slightly to the right, but they're more to the left than white men by a ton. But white women are actually slightly to the, at least they voted for Trump like 52 to 48. But then all the minority women are extremely liberal. That's what you're thinking of. Could your channel skyrocket if you post vids on Charlie Kirk conspiracies? I don't think it would. I don't think people really care outside of the Candace Owens supporters and stuff like that. But that I don't think there's even an audience for it outside of the Candace Owens crap because she's like bigger and she has the connections. But I mean, I just think it's all like fake storylines. Yeah, like Ilhan Omar is a case study for just what the fuck happened to our country. Like even someone like that being in the country and hating America, but then getting a position of political authority. That's who. What are you running on? I hate America. I love my country, but I came to America because it's better than my country, and I'm gonna win. Okay. I mean, the woman openly says she doesn't like that. How does she win? I guess maybe there's a bunch of she won like a very Muslim rich area. That's how she won. I'm not sure. Wonder if any Democrat would say anything about that during primaries 2027, 2028. I don't know. It seems like Newsom is pretty far ahead in the primaries for the Democrats from what I've seen. How did the Indian guy with painted eyebrows ever get? Yeah, that dude. That dude's. I think he's wearing a skin suit. That's a weirdo, man. I don't know. These people have to run uncontested. Some of these people that get positions of power, it's because who's even going to be a donor for some of these people? 1v1 S&D firing range. Firing range, that map. Maybe Nuketown. Maybe Array. You know that map? I haven't played BO1 multiplayer in like 7, 8 years, 9 years. I played it like 9 years ago, I think. Randomly with someone. Would you run for office as a Democrat? Maybe a Democratic socialist I'd run on free healthcare for asylum seekers. Yeah, I don't think we're not going to go down the route of South Africa. I think that's fear mongering, especially not in our lifetimes. There's too many white people. South Africa. It's like 8% white, bro. You know how long that would take in the United States. I think you're fear mongering. Maybe big cities get really bad if they haven't already. I mean, but yeah, that's how the Democratic, that's how both parties worked, and then Trump upended it. But it's an establishment party. They have their candidate in mind. If it's Newsom, I think Newsom's gonna. I mean, for them, I think Newsom is the safest. Now, there's still a chance, maybe something happens and it's not him. I think for them, Newsom and then a ticket, person of color, female, VP. That is probably the way that they go. So Newsom, and I don't know if they would do AOC. I think that's a little bit too much for people, and they're trying to get back in power. But Newsom and like a younger POC. Dude, I don't know about the clip about Putin. Okay, man, I see the clip. I don't really care about the clip about Putin, man. You've got Midwest vibes. Well, you're good at guessing. You're good at accents, I guess. Yeah, $7 gas. I mean, that's because they tax gas because it's bad. They say it's bad, but also it's just a thing with California in general. Things cost more. The cost of living is significantly more in California in a lot of the areas. But I think Newsom has definitely mismanaged California. It's a massive economy, but it's been mismanaged badly. Which older cougar would you take on a date? Gretchen Whitmer or the Colts? Probably the Colts. Yeah, probably the Colts owner over Gretchen Whitmer. And Gretchen Whitmer is not bad either. Yeah, that's why I could never really live in California. To me, it's just such a the cost of everything is insane. I mean, California is a beautiful state, and the rural areas I'm sure are conservative and stuff, but it's just I just can't do it with the cost of living. I think it's a big problem. I mean, I guess if you're rich, it's fine, but do I think Brylan Hollyhand is a GOP plant? I feel bad for that kid. I mean, he just he's like a neocon. He's like he was birthed from George W. Bush, and he talks like it too. It's really it's maybe he would be good 10, 15 years ago, but I don't know, man. It's he's not gonna have a fun time in this political climate. I don't think. You thought I was rich based on what? Yeah, but it's a lot harder to go from 59 to 10 than it was, I think, from. I think the way it works, it's going to be a lot harder, but to go down to 10%, I don't think it over. I mean, obviously, the country wouldn't be the country if that's the case. Like, at some point, I do wonder if liberals will have a point to where it's like this is probably not a good thing that we're this this much minorities. Like, you wonder if they would ever actually realize that. I don't know if they would. I mean, maybe, and then when it's too late, they would, but you have to wonder they're so entrenched with this modern liberalism and the diversity, and it really is just forced diversity. I mean, nobody voted for the population replacement. People were told it wasn't going to happen. Would you date 18 to 21 year old? I prefer like 2 or 3 years younger. I think to me, I just think, and I understand guys, as long as the women, the girls are legal and stuff, but for me, it's just like I don't really. I'd prefer someone like just 2 or 3 years younger. This was like 23, 24. That would be a good age for me. You start getting down there. I don't know. I mean, it's I think personal preference and just relatability. I know the argument is, you can't relate to women for anything, but I don't know, like in terms of place of life, I'd prefer someone just like 2 or 3 years younger. India or Somalia. I was gonna say something, right? But yeah, probably India would be better than Somalia. Although I don't know, I'd have to look at Somalia. I really don't know the country too well. There's some wealthy air, but India just there's a constant smell, and they have horrible air quality. They gotta have worse air quality than Somalia. Somalia has got to be just a total fucking shithole. But dude, if this person says this one more time, I'm gonna see if there's a delay. Yeah, yeah. No, it is time. No, it is time to go. It is time to go. He's gonna be sarcastic about it then. Well, you can go harass another stream. What did he say? He kept asking me. He's just trolling me. Just annoying. I'm not gonna deal with it. And not even like good trolls. Just weird. Just a few weirdos. Would you date a 30-year-old woman? It's too old. It's far too old. The first time you see me ban someone, I banned someone earlier tonight. I banned the dude that kept saying just random. I think this guy's like 16 years old. The kid that was talking about the third temple and just saying random, just disgusting shit. He's 16 or 17. I'm like, I'm not gonna read this anymore. Was he a schizo? Just a young and mature kid. That's normally what it is. But you get these people in the chat that troll. That's 90% of the time what it is. That's what I was. Interracial marriages make you sick. Yeah, I mean but think about it. It's a product of the environment. I mean, look at the diversity that we've got now. It's going to create more of these, and a lot of it is really a misnomer. They say, well, they take all your women. No, white women are the least likely to date outside of their race. They try and use that. Been a minute since you watched me. What's up, man? Take on the shootings. The shootings are bad. It's a terrible situation. We have to. The 12 people dying is horrible in Australia and Muslim or something. I don't know. We'll see. And then this other one is just there's no information on it. So have you gotten banned or timed out in other streams or chats? No, I wouldn't be trolling on YouTube chats. No. We just need more gun laws and gun-free zones. Well, they could pass laws against like background checks or some shit like that. That's probably what they're gonna try and do. Yeah. But I mean, the gun-free zones are kind of like a misnomer. Like the country has a ton of guns, whether or not an area is a gun-free zone. It's guns can still get smuggled into that area if the country has a bunch of guns. Like, it doesn't make any sense. The post from Truck Schumer. Yeah, that was a viral post. I remember that. What's your take on Nick Fuentes supporters getting hit in New York? Yeah, I saw that the woman propaganda guy got clocked. He got hit and then backed down, and I mean, you can't really control it. He's about 5'4". You look at that dude. He is legit. And then the big boy next to him. Yeah, they were arguing about something at some event, and this other dude who's like 5'3" comes up and just this other fat dude just slaps him. I think he was shocked. No, the woman propaganda guy I think is 5'4", maybe 5'5". The woman propaganda guy got nailed with a slap. He got nailed with a slap, and then the big boy next to him.
I just got punched in the face by the.
The woman propaganda guy.
Punched in the face by this guy. Well, this Jewish guy was yelling, "Everyone's a Nazi," and then I told him to go back to Israel. And then this other guy just slapped me across. Kevin Smith just slapped me across.
TikTok.
Will, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. What's going on? Good to meet you.
Are you okay?
I literally just got my shit reset. Fuck, he hit
know
me
you.
hard.
Guys from the I don't know what
you
you do here.
He hit me.
I was just hanging out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Maybe we shouldn't. Wasn't he?
Yeah, why don't we go?
I thought he was with Wire. He just hit me. I just got.
Just awkward individuals. Yeah, I guess that was in New York City. Sneeko? Yeah, Sneeko he seems like he lives his life as a cope because he's Haitian and he's trying to diss Christmas. Dude, Sneeko is like trying to diss Christmas like, "Oh my god, it's capitalist slop." Bro, oh my god. What an amazing take. To call Christmas capitalist slop, it's only been around for the take has only been around for 100 years. You've cracked the code on Christmas. I mean, every holiday is capitalist slop. It's not the air that gets people crazy, it's the population density. They're right on top of each other. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Betty Johnson. I know he's getting accusations. There's a lot of people that are trying to. I've seen so much of this now, and I don't know if this is a trend or what. They're suing people for libel, meaning stuff that they write, or just slander, stuff that they say. Like, so many people want to do that now. I don't know. It's something that's going on. And these lawsuits are very hard to win when you're a public figure. But I don't know. There's a lot of people that say, that always threaten to sue. I'm not saying Benny Johnson did, but in general, I've seen a lot of that. What do you mean it's all a big distraction, so we're not prepared for the midterms? Well, this is just what it is. The political parties have a bunch of infighting during off years. Then they come together, and then they try and win the midterms or they win a general election. But there's going to be infighting during these off years, and so it doesn't really surprise me. Turning Point USA stream tomorrow. Are you watching? I mean, who's the guest? Is the guest JD Vance or Tucker Carlson, or is it Erica Kirk? Or oh, is that when they're going to be answering all the questions? Piers Morgan had Tim Pool on his show. Yeah, I saw Tim Pool on there. I didn't watch much of it. I thought Tim Pool was talking about Candace Owens on his show though, not Nick Fuentes. Well, there's been suspicions about Benny Johnson, what Milo said. I mean, is Milo gonna lie? Maybe, but take it for what it's worth. Dude, Milo was gone. Did you see Milo on Piers Morgan? What kind of drug concoction did he take? And Piers Morgan is sitting there like, this is the most normal thing. Milo is like, his eyes are just gone. He's like looking in different directions. It's like a dog that doesn't know the command. And Piers Morgan is like sitting there listening to him like this is completely normal. It's like, dude, it was a funny clip, but like, did you see the Trump coin toss at the Army game? Um, yeah, that was he's obviously he took the coin toss premise literally. He was told to toss, not flip, so that's why. Yeah, that was a bad look for Trump, but it's irrelevant. Benny Johnson has a wife and kids in that case. Well, sometimes it's not that simple. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, Benny Johnson has become he's like a big social media person now. You see the job now is and the Charlie Kirk people are going to disperse and a lot of them go to Fuentes, but some of them also go to Benny Johnson. Like I know he's risen up a lot in terms of it just seems like he's always doing something in relation to the administration now. So I just looked on my For You page and saw that pretty much immediately. Yeah, this guy's coming out as like a groiper. He's trying to fucking win and beat Byron Donald. I mean, dude, this has gotten to where it's like, this dude, he understands that it's an attention economy. You gotta. So he's constantly doing these videos, trying to placate to like the further young right wing. So you see this, and I remember James Fish back like 7 or 8 months ago, and he would say stuff on CNN that was pretty. Because I used to follow him, then I unfollowed him, and then he's coming back, and now he's running. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I'm not a fan of Byron Donalds, but I just to me, he just doesn't seem like a good politician, Byron Donalds, and his previous comments. It's like he's changed his stance 500 times, but he got the Trump endorsement. You hope Mike Lindell wins the primary and defeats Tim Pool. Yeah, he's not gonna win. I don't think. I don't think Mike Lindell's gonna win anything, man. I think that would give Tim. Oh, you said Tim Walz. Yeah, I think that would give Tim Walz an easy win, honestly. Fishback, he said he's not Jewish. Yeah, I saw this girl. This girl, she's probably got like 7 guys in her DMs. Just, come on. Like, really? Laura Loomer. Yeah, Laura Loomer is just a, obnoxious pro-Israel personality. Really bombastic personality, fits in with MAGA as like a MAGA lady. Takes, kind of like MTG used to do. That Oxford dude debating Charlie Kirk was your brother? Yeah. He's a hardcore liberal. He has he twitches a lot, let's just say that if you look at that video. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this live stream. I'm gonna get there. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I'll see you guys later.